Welcome to another CEO Wisdom Pod. We have Ahmad Ali with us today. He's a CEO at Team Sunshine Construction in Boston. Interesting business. Made 40 mil in less than 3 years, and nowadays like even higher than that. I'll let him speak about the numbers. But yeah, guys started at Solar City. Was a banker before that. Started Da Vinci Energy and then went to Team Sunshine Construction, which is well diversified, four co-founders in 10 states. So, Ahmad, welcome to the podcast. Tell us a bit more about yourself and what you've been up to.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, Charles. You got some great stuff going on. I don't know how you manage all that stuff, man. Like I got one job and I'm all over the place. It's crazy, but yeah, man, it's been a ride, So I've been in this industry for 11 years now, and it's been a ride. Like it's been a lot of fun. Like I went from being a door knocker, like those annoying people knocking on the door trying to sell solar, to that company got bought out, Solar City. They're now Tesla. You've probably heard of them. Pretty big company. They cut their direct team, and then I went out and started my own company with a partner. Did that for a couple of years. We learned a lot about sales and marketing, and I think that was like super valuable. Was able to take that. I had stayed in the residential solar space at the time as well. Took that, did it for a few years, and just kind of kept messing around with the like, hey, let's try the mom and pop shop, and sell for them, and let's try the national company that can raise money, hundreds of thousands and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars and billions of dollars, and let's try selling for them. And we really were not super satisfied here in the Northeast. There's a lot of issues, finding a good contractor and really having like a good client experience. So we ended up founding our own company. It's been a little over 4 years. We've done close to 100 million revenue. Started off same thing, residential solar in Massachusetts, but we've expanded. We've installed in over 10 states, doing a lot of HVAC business, a lot of battery storage, a lot of roofing as well. It's really our idea was kind of changed, but not changed, but really like developed over time. Like got a little bit bigger. And now we're just thinking about this whole home energy services, solution, right? Whole home energy service provider. And really, we've invested a lot into some software right now, and that software is it's something that it's really important to us, and I think it's going to change the industry. I think it's going to be a big deal. It's helping us sell a lot of projects, helping us present things, in a way to the customer with speed. We're leveraging as much AI tools as possible to be able to present proposals and really have like a holistic kind of experience, with client. So that's what I've been up to, man.
Most guys never scale solar business up to 100 mil. What was your secret to do that? Was it sales?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta lead with sales. Like there's different things that you can sell, right? But like a product like solar, for example, which is really like our heart and soul, that's our base. That's something you have to sell, right? It's a product that's sold. It's not typically bought, right? Like the amount of, inbound leads coming in versus outbound and pushing is tremendous. Like it's a world of difference. So you got to be able to sell. You got to be able to present yourself in a certain way in your product, your idea, your company, and doing the right thing. I think it's underrated in business, right? I think do what you say what you do. That kind of thing, highly underrated in business. And I think that's one of the things that's legitimately helped us be able to scale the company because you get to work with the right people, and with people can help you scale, right? It takes an army. You're not going to do it alone.
In your case, you decided to start that business with what, three co-founders? Isn't that overkill? Why scale with that many co-founders and dilute cap table?
You know, um, I believe in leverage, and I think that there's some stuff that I'm really good at. There's some stuff I'm terrible at, and I think that goes the same for my business partners. So we had all been already working together at some way, shape, or form. We've all been in the industry for years together, and we liked each other, and we all kind of had something that the company really needed. And you give people skin in the game, and they have now a vested interest in doing that job and helping you scale, right? Like, and we didn't even have a CEO for maybe like 2 years. We were just like the owners of the company. We were the founders, and it was like I picked the short straw because it was, you know what I mean? Like, I was qualified to do it, but at the end of the day, we're all partners. We all offer, different kinds of ideas and things in the business. And, you know, does it work for everybody? No, it's not. I'll say that for sure. Like, you really got to have the same vision and an idea in mind. And I would also mention like being in a kind of similar place in life too. I think that also matters a lot, because somebody who's super young, they might be aggressive and they want to grow and scale, and they're willing to, like, eat shit, excuse my language, for a little bit. But some other people, maybe they're like older, maybe they're more conservative, maybe they're not interested in doing that kind of thing. So you got to have like the same alignment for sure.
And the sales system, what does it look like? Is it Facebook ads, Insta ads, top of funnel, and then calling them and then meeting them physically, follow up with a CRM and close, I don't know, 1 out of 3?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say the numbers are pretty good. I'd say on the presentation side, that's probably pretty accurate. That's one way we get business. Yeah, Facebook is big, Google's big, for some of that stuff. But even traditional door knocking is still huge in these industries. The referral business is also a really big business. We do a lot of kind of like channel partner business as well. So we work with a lot of channel partners, and they do their own marketing. They bring their own business. And then we even work with some national companies, bigger companies that just send us business because we do good work. So we have different kinds of arrangements and different levels of business. I think that's also one of the things, having 4 partners, you can be a little more open-minded, and you can also find different avenues to acquire, business. It's important.
Have you started doing B2B, whether it is direct selling or partnerships?
Yeah. So on the software side of the business, it's technically a different company, but that's something that we're just starting to license right now. So we offer a service where if you're in the home services industries and you sell some of these products that we sell, we can offer you a proposal tool that can be customized for the way your sales reps want it, have a sales proposal within 30 seconds, and have integrated financing options as well. So everything can be done in one portal. That's something that we've just started doing B2B. We also, I don't know if it counts like B2B, we do commercial solar as well. That's like also, it's a different conversation for sure when you're talking to somebody that's like a business owner and it's like a financial thing versus it's like a homeowner, and that's a big emotional conversation for a lot of people.
Interesting. Your equipment, so like the margins on that business depends a lot on the equipment that you install, right? How do you make sure that your margins are healthy while the panels last for a very long time?
Yeah. So one thing that was really important to us, industry standard is like 25-year warranty, because a lot of people do 25-year leases. That's just industry standard. I'd say people buy, sure. So what we did was, we wanted to make like, hey, if you purchase from us, you're going to get the same warranty that the leasing companies are offering. So we offer the same warranty. Now, in order for me to feel comfortable with offering people a 25-year warranty, it's a big commitment. What we needed to do was make sure that the equipment manufacturers that we were aligned with also had a 25-year product warranty that matches, right? So it's not something that it's not coming out of thin air. I feel confident about it because I know that 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line, if something breaks, something's not working, we go and want to service it, I can go to the manufacturer and they're going to send me the product for free. And they're going to pay us for labor as well. And that's how we can make this a sustainable business model. So alignment's super important.
And how do you scale now vs like in the early days, right? Because when you scale to, I don't know, 30, 40 million a year, it's a different game than when you started at 1 million.
Yeah, it's a completely different beast. And so much of year one and two was trust me, bro. It was a lot of that, and like some people did, some people didn't, and it is what it is. But the good thing is, it wasn't our first venture as owners. We've been involved, all of us separately, in different ventures. So we have a good network circle of trust with a lot of people who, when they found out that we were installing, that we're getting into this construction side of the business, they automatically wanted to do business with us because they know that we're not going to do them dirty. Like, we're going to give them good business. Their customers are going to be happy. They're going to get paid. That's why it goes back to like doing good business, because you do it in year one, right? I'm not looking at year one. I'm looking at like, hey, what can we do together in year five, right? And that kind of thing. My goal is, when we were bringing in outside, contractors and people and channel partners to come in and do business with us, I said, listen, man, like, you're doing 5 deals a month right now. That's good. You can make a living off of that. But I'm like, my goal is to scale you to 20, 30, 40, 50 a month, right? Because I'd rather work with like 10 of you than 100 guys doing one a month. That's not my interest. I want to help them scale. So help your partner scale, and then you're going to be able to scale as well.
The team itself, how do you recruit team members, make sure that they stay? Because I guess that's also heavily reliant on the team members and their skills, right? Like in that business, and training them takes some time, and you don't want them to mess anything up on the roof. So, what are your criterias nowadays?
Yeah, well, the really good thing is, what we did was, very early on, is a strategic decision to bring on very high quality people very early on. And they were expensive. And then they were coming to a startup, they made them extra expensive. But that was a crucial step for us, because we brought those people on, and then we started to build around them, right? And some of them, they're not even, they've gone and built their own companies, and they're doing their own thing. But we established a base core of people who do really, really good work in the beginning. And then, as we trained a lot of people. We brought on people that have never been on a roof before, and trained them, and showed them exactly what it is that was needed. But because the standard was already so high, people get sussed out quickly. So there's been opportunities, like, where we bring somebody on, they get on the roof, they're working within a week or two. It's like they realize it's not good for them, or honestly, the crew kind of susses them out. Like, they're like, listen, this guy's not it. He's not cut out for this, or he's too slow, or they're not doing good work, or there's something that they don't like about them. It filters itself out. Once you set that high bar in the beginning, it's incredible what it does, though. It's important.
And what time did you started integrating with like roofing and heat pumps, for example? When was that an obvious decision? And it seems like a no brainer to me, but it must have come with its lot of challenges as well, right?
Yeah, so roofing happened pretty early on, because we were looking at 20, 30% of projects and we need a new roof. And I said, like, listen, like, we gotta we gotta find some kind of way to do this in house, somewhat in house, at least as much as we can, um, because it's just part of the business that we're already doing. So it's like, we should not be paying a retail price for this, right? Like, we got to do wholesale pricing. So we were able to make some really good partnerships on the roofing side early on, just through volume. So that was pretty easy. Heat pumps was an interesting one, right? And I kind of saw what was happening. I mean, even a couple of years ago, before the bill was passed last year, before any of that stuff happened, we were really looking at it, and we're like, what kind of thing aligns, like, tangentially, like with what we're doing, right? And we realized it was heat pumps, it was next up, right? I'm like, my family, like, I'm American, born here, but I'm ethnically Lebanese. Like, I go back in the summer and hang out. We spend time in Europe. Like, I see heat pumps everywhere, and I looked around me, and I was like, I don't see them here. People are like, oh, did you hear about those new split units they're doing? I'm like, dude, they had split units 20 years ago over there. I don't know why this isn't big yet. So it kind of dawned on me, and I'm like, dude, we're already doing solar. Why wouldn't we just do this as well? And it's fully aligned, because you help somebody get off of oil or gas or propane, and then you transition them to, electrification, right? Like electrification of their appliances and their heating. And then naturally, like you kind of have to go solar at that point too. And also the trend of electrification across the board, that includes vehicles too, right? Fuel, right? Like, I don't know, 100% of cars were, fuel like 20, 30 years ago, almost 100%. And now it's maybe 20 to 30% of new vehicles are EVs. So we're already going through electrification as a country. So knowing like on the front end, it's electrification. On the back end, what is going to power all that electrification? Because we're not ready for it, and that's why you need solar for it. So it almost just we work backwards. It strengthened the case that we already had that solar is the right place. But I'm like, why not hit it on the front end too? Why not hit them with the EV chargers, right? Hit them with the battery storage, right? It made a lot of sense.
Right. And do you feel solar's a no-brainer for most people nowadays, like the economics?
Yeah, it's simple, man. Like solar makes a ton of sense. At the end of the day, you're paying somebody for something, right? So you now have the ability to make a conscious decision, an educated decision about what you want to do with your money, right? So you can decide to continue paying the utility company, right? Like just for people here who know, like 11 years ago when I started doing this, National Grid was 20 cents, right? Right now they're between 35 to 40 cents per kilowatt hour, right? You do the math on that. I can make math on solar look good right now for the next 5 years if the utility rates don't go up. But if you start running the numbers on utility rates as well, forget about it. Like it really is a no brainer.
Yeah, yeah. What are your goals for this year?
Yeah, this year is fun, man. We're kind of going through a little bit of a transition period in this year, where a lot of the business is transitioning to HVAC, and we've spent a couple of years developing this software. And we started kind of trialing and beta testing and started using it like soft launch end of last year. We want to go hard launch this year on our software, and really get this thing out there and start to license it. Because right now our team's using it and it's helping us like crazy. So once we get this thing out there, I know it's going to be crazy.
Right. Is the plan to exit eventually that business a couple years down the line, or keep on scaling?
I'd say we're open minded. As founders, you always got to look to be aligned with your partners and figure out what the next move is. And if that's an exit, if the opportunity is there, I mean, sure, that's something that we'll talk about and have some discussions on. There's a lot of different things that you can do here, right? Like there's investments, there's seed funding. Like there's different kinds of ways to go about it. We also have like the construction business, we have the software business, we have the HVAC business. We're definitely open minded. Like an exit would be cool. Obviously, I think for a lot of founders, that's the goal. I've been an entrepreneur for 13, 14 years now straight. I haven't had I've had a couple exits, not any massive exits. So, if that opportunity presents itself, we'd sure to be open minded. But at the end of the day, I think we're also building a legacy company. And if that, you know, if we just keep scaling it and, I could be pretty happy with that too.
And what's been painful about that business? What challenges have you faced?
Yeah, I would say it's a bit of a roller coaster, and I think uncertainty is the biggest thing that actually affects us a lot. Sometimes you get bad news, right? And it sucks, but at least with the news, and if you know what's going on, you can kind of maneuver. You can make plans. You can work around it. What I don't like working with is uncertainty. And obviously, there's always a level of uncertainty, but when it's like the federal government doesn't really know what they're doing and they're uncertain about stuff, that's when it causes waves, right? And waves can be problems, right? Like some of these waves have included like, bankruptcies for major financing companies that we work with, right? Like it's not so much the bad news that killed them, it's the uncertainty. Uncertainty kills investors. Investors don't want uncertainty. They can readjust, they can change their rates, they can change the compensation, the payout, they can try to make it work. They can't work around uncertainty for too long.
You're referring to tariffs, right?
Tariffs is part of it, regulation, just cutting of taxes, but even some stuff right now. There's language around what is domestic content. What percentage of the products have to be made in the USA, and what does that even mean? I think we got some language on it a few weeks ago, but this is something that's been going on for over a year now. We're just finally figuring out what that even means. So I'm talking about, you have massive companies, that are like based in China, and they're not allowed to operate in China anymore, and they need to like invest billions of dollars into operations here, but they don't even know exactly what they need to do, or they already did it and maybe it doesn't qualify. These are the kind of things that, it hurts business overall, I would say.
Yeah, politicians are usually terrible businessmen. Most of them have never run or scaled a business, right? So
I agree.
it's pretty sad. Yeah, in the case of your business and your day in the life of a CEO, what does it look like? Is it mostly on sales? Is it on operations? What does a day in your life look like?
I think for a lot of CEOs, it could change, right? It depends on what stage you are in the business and what you're involved in. Like me personally, I'm involved in a lot of financial uh, stuff that's going on, large partnerships. I'm kind of like involved in a lot of deal making as well, and like high level legal matters. Like we have, 3 legal teams that we use, but I'm kind of like at the front of it as well. So like in one day, I'm jumping from here to here to here to here to here, like all over the place. But that's kind of my skill set. Like, I'm one of those like ADHD types. It really helps me as an entrepreneur. It's kind of like a superpower for me, but it also like it becomes a lot sometimes. But I wouldn't say this thing is built. Not everybody's built for entrepreneurship. I'll say that, or to be a CEO. And personally, like I would say this to a lot of people. Like personally, I wouldn't be a CEO of a company that I didn't have like a major stake in.
Right.
The job is not worth it. Like I think it's worth it if you're you have a stake in it and you kind of are on the upside. Otherwise, stressful job.
What do you need to scale to 100 mil a year?
I would say stability. Stability around us would be great. It's been a rocky time over the last few years, just around us. Like we're a ship, we're in the ocean, and around us, it's like the meme where the guy's in the house and everything's on fire, and he's like, "It's fine." That's kind of like what we've been operating on. So seeing some like smooth waters would be cool. I mean, I'm talking about since like COVID times too. Like that kind of rocked the boat across the board. Some stability would be great. I think it allows us to just build and not have to like rebuild, because like this pathway, this thing just like got ripped up from underneath us.
But
You know,
isn't that your moat as well? Because like most of your competitor will go out of business, and if you're stoic and resilient and you last through the storm, you're gonna pretty much be one of the only guys left, and you can buy them out also
yeah,
while they go out.
we've already done that. So I mean, it's kind of already a lot of it's already happened. I think we're probably through the worst of it, but I mean, I've seen it happen around me. Like the companies, literally, I'm talking like in our building, like across the street from us. There's a bunch of them, and a lot of them have gone under, and we've scooped up some of their best assets. And sometimes that's brain power and salespeople. And our goal is to just be, the one that's there by the end of it, because naturally it's filtered out a lot of the bad players too, which I think is a positive. But I do agree with you. Yeah, I think being there at the end of the tunnel, is a goal of in and of itself, because naturally, when like for example, solar becomes something that's you know purchased and not something that's bought and not something that's sold, um, we're going to be like the most established company with the most stable ground
Yeah, I
for
love it,
that.
dude. Where can people find out more about you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. I'm not super active, but it's at Mind of Ahmad. That is probably the best place to find me, or on LinkedIn. I haven't been posting too much, but I've been super busy, but I'd love to. I do have a lot to share. I'm on a little bit of a podcast run right now, a little bit. I've done a few, and they've just kind of caught a little bit of steam, and it's kind of like going around. So I'll have a website on the Instagram at some point for all the podcasts and all the media stuff that we're doing, because I love doing this. And people tell me that like I should have a podcast, I should do it, and I'm like, I wish, man. Like I wish I could find the time, but get me on your podcast, and I'll maybe want to for all these people out there, try to find me.
There you go. That was Ahmad and Charles